My dad found out he has a surprise daughter and granddaughter, and now everything we do seems to revolve around them. But my dad gave me a surprise of my own and told me I couldn't go on our family trip if I don't spend time with them. Last year my dad found out that he had another kid, Mia, 30F, and a granddaughter Zoe. Before this, it was me, 17M, my brother, 20M, and our parents, 55M/52F. Apparently he just had a fling with Mia's mom when he was in college, who ghosted him and never told him about being pregnant. Since finding out, it's all my dad talks about. He and Mia texted/called for a couple of months, then she let him meet Zoe, over Zoom, and then last summer, they came to visit us. We live in a big city and they live a couple states over. My brother was at college, but he even drove back for a weekend to meet them too. Everyone was so excited, except me. Like no one acknowledged how weird the whole thing is. Mia is nice, I guess, but she kept saying how she's so excited to have a family for her and Zoe. I guess her mom's not in the picture? My parents wanted to show them around our city, so anytime I didn't have school or practice, I was being dragged around doing things for tourists and kids. And that was the thing that got on my nerves the most about that trip. Mia's kid, Zoe. She was so excited to have a nan and pap and kept calling me Uncle Op. They even came to one of my soccer games that week and she ran up after, in front of my friends, to hug me and tell me that she wanted to play soccer now too because her uncle is the best on the team. When they visited over winter break, it was a lot of the same stuff. My parents got them a ton of presents, and Zoe kept asking me questions and asking to play games with her. I also found out that my dad is sending money each month, since Mia's job doesn't pay the best. I tried confiding in my brother about it, but he seems totally fine and says it's making our parents really happy to have more family. Anyway, my dad just told me they're coming up again in a couple of weeks and I snapped. I admit that I raised my voice a bit and asked why he cares so much about people he met less than a year ago. Everyone keeps saying Mia and Zoe are family, but they didn't grow up with us and I literally can't see them as actual family. I also said she's probably just using him for the money, which I know was probably a jerk move, but he said he's the one that insisted sending money, and he feels guilty for not being there in her life. But it still feels so weird, so I told him I'm not going to do anything with them while they're here. Now he's saying that if I can't be a team player in the family, he'll have to reconsider taking me on our family vacation this year, which I guess they're also going on. My mom's on his side, saying Mia had a hard life, so it's natural she's excited to have a family, and that she loves having more girls in the house every once in a while. My friends are the only ones on my side. They said they'd find it weird if random people just showed up one day to be in their family. Update. Thanks to everyone who gave me actual advice, rather than just calling me a spoiled jerk about the situation with no further comment. I was actually able to think through my emotions and formulate a plan forward. I sat down with my parents on Sunday and we had a productive conversation. I apologized for snapping last week, and told them that I was just having a difficult time with the amount of changes over the year, and it had built up. Through reading your comments, I realized that these feelings were probably coming from the fact that I am, as many of you guessed, the youngest on both sides of the family. There had always been a lot of emphasis on that, and with it being my senior year, I kind of expected a bit more of the spotlight than I'm getting. I also think having my brother being away at school put most of the expectations on me to be a good son/brother/uncle/host. I was feeling a little resentment that he was able to escape back to his campus, while I was stuck at home. I was pinning those feelings on Mia and Zoe, which I recognize isn't fair. My parents also apologized for not checking in with me more often about how I was feeling. I asked if I could opt out of some activities when Mia and Zoe visit, so I could still enjoy my spring break with friends. In compromise, I would make more of an effort to engage with them in general, like maybe playing soccer with Zoe. Ultimately, I've realized that my sister and niece aren't going anywhere, and I have to sort out my feelings about that. I do think me going to college out of state in a couple months will help give me my own space, but for now, I'll try to make more of an effort to integrate them into my life.